Therefore, if you would understand him, listen not to what he says, but rather to what he does not say. Half of what I say is meaningless, and I say it so that the other half may reach you. My loneliness was born when men praised my talkative faults and blamed my silent virtues. When life does not find a singer to sing her heart, she produces a philosopher to speak her mind. A truth is to be known always, and uttered sometimes. The real in us is silent, and the acquired is talkative. Should you really open your eyes and see, you would behold your image in all images. God, I love this book. That is Sand and Foam by Kahlil Gibran. Not exactly sure how you say his name, if you can see that. A lot of people attach to what I say on here, and honestly, everything I say is meaningless and doesn't really matter. And there's people who watch me for interesting little bits of wisdom and insights and fancy new things, but I'm saying the same thing in every video. Die to yourself, see through yourself, witness the illusion, and then you're free. You don't have to become God or do anything crazy or fancy. Once you're free, you can go right back to work and do whatever the hell you want, just for fun. So if you witness kids playing, they go through every range of emotions. They will be happy, sad, screaming, fighting, and then the next second they'll be totally fine, and they are just, they're playing. They are playing. Because that's what this is. When you awaken out of your seriousness, it's so painful. But once you're through it, you just realize it's not that serious. The most real thing I could do is not speak. It's the paradox of making these videos. Half the time I have nothing to say. I have nothing new to share. I don't want to come up with something new and fancy and interesting like Ram Dass or Alan Watts. Great speakers. Great thinkers. But a new thought is not going to do anything for you. It's dismantling the beliefs that you have about those thoughts and seeing through what thought is that will free you. And then you can play like a child. It's all just a dance of perception. We're just in a world of duality, and you can't take any of it personally. And when you do, I still do sometimes, I'm not perfect, you look into it. It dissolves. When you see it clearly, when you feel it deeply, it dissolves, it's gone, and you just move on. It usually doesn't come up again. I've been on here long enough now that I have had someone tell me I'm the most real on YouTube, and I have also had someone tell me within the same month that I am a fake and I'm lying to everybody. They're just seeing me as who they are. I get it. The person who called me real is probably a real, genuine person, and the person who's called me a fake and a liar probably has some authenticity issues and hasn't seen themselves clearly. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing has anything to do with me. Nothing. Not even me. Here's a good example of perception. I have 3 kids, and it gets wild sometimes. So my son was playing with this long, like cardboard tube that comes out of wrapping paper. And anyway, he's playing with it and whacking his sisters with it so much that it was breaking in the middle. So I taped it, and then I kept playing with it. It broke again, so I taped it again, and finally it was getting to the point where I couldn't tape this thing anymore. So he's 3 years old. He brought it up to me, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, let me fix this for you." I wasn't thinking clearly. In my mind, in my perception, I thought if I just cut out the damaged part, he'll have 2, and that's way cooler. You could do nunchuck stuff. I don't know. You could figure it out. So I just grabbed it and I cut it in half. and handed it back to him. And I knew that I messed up the second I saw his face. He sat down on the floor and he just broke down and he's crying. I just ruined his day. I just ruined it. That's not what he wanted. And then his sister, she's 5, she came up and she took his side and got mad at me and said, "Dad, why'd you do that? I can't believe that. You made him sad." And now I got 2 kids against me and I'm just, what am I going to do? I can't explain myself. So, I let him be completely distraught at the hands of my own action, which is, it takes a certain level of patience to watch somebody break down, knowing that you're the cause and not taking it personal. But I did have to follow up, but not in the moment. He was too distraught. So I waited like an hour and then I called him over to the couch and was like, "Hey buddy, come here. Let's talk for a second." And he came over and I pulled him in close and I'm like, "Hey dude, I should have asked. My apologies. Like, I didn't mean to cut your toy in half and ruin your day. I should have asked you or let you know that I was going to do that before I did it. So I'm sorry. I can't replace it. There's nothing I can do now, but I'm letting you know in the future, I'm going to do that a little differently." And my son's a physical touch person, so he doesn't really say anything, but he just got closer and was hugging me and getting all weird in my lap. So I knew that that was kind of a sign of he forgives me. But my daughter is not so quick to forgive. She walks by, seeing this beautiful moment of reconciliation, and she glares at me and she does this. "I got my eye on you, Dad." Oh, man. And in that moment, there's just 3 completely separate perceptions happening at the same time. I have my own universe. I'm perceiving it differently. He has his own universe, and she is in a completely different one. And there we all are, creating a family. It's this dance of perception. Nobody's wrong or right. There isn't this good, bad, dualistic thing happening. It's just everybody perceiving their world in a different way. So when you can back up and notice that, my daughter saw me as the bad guy. My son saw me through the eyes of forgiveness. I am seeing the situation with a little broader perspective. I'm the adult. And it's fairly easier with kids. But if you look at every adult like a grown-up kid, because that's kind of what most adults are, some people have actually matured and grown up, but not very many. It's a lot easier to see why people do certain things and why there are certain actions. Now, the thing with adults is they can turn violent and get very, very unhealthy or end up in a mental institution or such and such. But for what you can handle, for who you can speak to, there's always a way to just step back and watch what's happening, knowing that it's not personal. And this isn't an intellectual knowing. I feel it. Occasionally something does hit me and I get bothered. And then, I can either feel that in the moment, journal, do some shadow work about it later if I need to. Sometimes I don't even bother. But when you really go through some kind of a perceptual shift, you face your stuff, you face death, you let your identification with thoughts die. You can just witness the differences and just notice that we're all in the sandbox playing a game. Life's not that serious. It becomes fun and quite entertaining to watch. And then you see adults who are they got stuck in a rut. I have a few friends, adults, who are stuck in this, everything's upsetting. They're always late. There's always too much traffic. They have to do this. They have to do that. There's never enough this. That's their rut that they're stuck in. And I used to want to help those people, but now I'm just seeing that that's just how it is. That's just where they are. They never asked for my help. If someone like that, the very opposite of the way that I live, just kind of peaceful, watching everything, someone like that is just anxious and bothered all the time, it's not my duty to help or save that person. And oftentimes, they don't ask questions or want help or to be saved. It's actually more beneficial, if you want to think about it like that, to just be around and witness it. And, these extremes stop happening the more you see, the more you are quiet and watch, the more you sit in that, what I read earlier, that half that's not talking. It's weird because I'm on YouTube and I'm talking right now, but a lot of times I'm not talking. I'm quiet, I'm observing, or I'm asking questions. The less reactive you become to everything, because the more starts becoming obvious, to the point where I didn't know what I was getting into with this awakening stuff. I slowly got healthier emotionally, and then it's like I stepped outside of myself, and now I'm just kind of watching it happen, which I've heard people call that the witness. It's just another stage. It's not somewhere to get stuck. People can get stuck in it. I mean, like, I used to love listening to Ram Dass, and I think he pretty much was in the witness stage like his whole life. The way he spoke, it seems like that's kind of where he was at. And, I could be wrong. I'm not claiming anything here. But when you keep going or just kind of move past all these stages, you can kind of shift in and out of them, Like, I will purposefully go unconscious and into whatever song I'm listening to at the time, because I want to feel it and be in it. And like that, when I'm listening to a good song, I want to be in the dream. I don't want to be awake watching. I don't want to be the witness. I want to be in my body as it's moving around and just fully absorbed in it. And then there are times where somebody is upset and they're telling me how they feel. Now that's a time where I can not take it personal, step back and be the witness and watch both me and that person at the same time. And that's beneficial. And then there are times, say in meditation, where I'm not even the witness. I disappear and there just is. That one's impossible to put in language. So these different modes you can play with. You're not stuck as oneness. You're not stuck as like, oh, I'm an individual separate self. And you're not stuck in any of these things. You can move around through all of them and navigate how you want. But the extreme emotional reactions don't happen anymore. And there's just a general balance of everything. Everything feels fine. Everything's accepted. And when I'm not accepting or resisting something, I can just look into and feel into the resistance. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. Another example, I had a friend, probably one of my most trusted friends here where I live. I've known him for the last 5 or 6 years. He happens to be a pastor of a church. So, we have differences, but we don't really talk about it. We just share and enjoy each other's company. He called me one night to let me know that he has cancer. And this is the first time something like that has happened to me in this state that I'm in right now. And I didn't have a reaction. For one, I wasn't surprised because I had been hearing about a specific kind of cancer for 3 days in a row. So I knew something was going to happen. Like it's that flow state I've talked about where like the universe kind of preps you for the next thing. So I kept hearing about this certain kind of cancer and I thought, weird, I've heard about this for 3 days. Like I felt like I was guessing one of my parents or somebody was going to call me, but it was him. And he has that exact kind of cancer that I heard about multiple times. So he calls, lets me know, and I don't have a reaction. I'm just listening to him. And he wants to meet up for coffee. He wanted to tell me before he told his church. So we met up and we talked. Well, he talked. I listened. And I just watched. I just watched him process. Now, when it comes down to the possibility of dying. Most people don't think about this stuff. I personally love watching any kind of movie or documentary where there are terminally ill people, because they go through the same process that I've already gone through. Like, I have faced it. So if it ever happens to me, I don't know what I would do. Maybe there would be no process. And a religious man such as himself has probably thought about it more than most. But he was still going through the process of really half fear and half acceptance. It just happens. Um, like all this stuff we can talk about on here, this spirituality and non-duality, like it doesn't matter when you're faced with your own death. Humanity really shows up. But the beautiful part of this is, for me, awakening was facing my own death head on. So I got to do it before I had to do it. And now that I've done it and I'm not scared of it, I am very comfortable sitting and watching somebody else go through the process, the same process. And I honestly, half the time I was listening to him, I was just thinking, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I don't know if he's going to live or die. So, that part's unknown. But either way, there's no way that it can't be beautiful. Like, it's so hard to explain. But the extreme reaction one way or the other didn't happen. So it gave him complete freedom and comfort to just share with me whatever he needed to share. To which later he texted me that it was very nice to just be able to process while I was listening. So, picture your teens, early 20s, where you are thrown about left and right. You're just super high, super low. Everything gets you. You get super emotional. You get caught up in drama. And as you get older and you start analyzing that stuff, it happens less and less. And then when you really face your own death, which is what people call an ego death, it doesn't calm you down in the way that you think, oh, if I go to counseling and like face my inner child and do trauma work, like that will eventually get me to be a healthier person. That does happen. You get healthier, you respond less and less. But when you truly face and embrace and put death right in front of your face, it's terrifying. It's like the final step. But then after that, you have a permanent shift. Not just, oh, I have peace more often now than I don't because I've done some inner child work. It's you become peace. You don't just feel it sometimes. You start to, like, you disidentify with the person so much, because there really is no I or me or my personal story. I mean, I speak like this because we have to use language to communicate. Otherwise, I just sound like a kook. But you eventually come to a place where emptiness is where you are. It's not where you're resting. It's not what you're trying to do. It's not, I don't meditate to feel peace. Sometimes I mean, meditation has become almost not necessary anymore. Because once you have a permanent shift and you shift into, at first you meditate to feel something or to feel peace or to focus your mind or to quiet your mind. But then when you shift into becoming meditation, to sit and meditate actually feels weird, because you just are meditation now. So I'm not talking about doing something. I'm talking about becoming something. And you become something by actually becoming nothing. God, this stuff's hard to explain. Oh, that's why this book is so good. Sand and Foam, Kahlil Gibran. Check it out. It's really awesome. He's most famous for the book The Prophet, but I found Sand and Foam to be really a pleasant read. Yeah. What's my point? Emptiness can be anything. When you're empty, you can be anything. You can play your character in the dualistic world. You can step out of your character and be the witness. You can become one with everything and experience non-duality. I mean, you can just phase in and out of all of these things. I mean, emptiness is like water. It just takes the shape of whatever it's rolling over at the time. Water can be stagnant and boring in a pond, or it can be absolutely stunning and beautiful in a waterfall. And there is no right or wrong. It just is what it is, where it is. And that's just what your life becomes when you awaken. That's it. I don't know if I had a point. Just kind of felt like rambling. So, thanks for watching.